Hi Aries, it's Jenny Fitterer here with your January Tarotscope. I have a single card for you for the month of January. The first 2/3 of the month is Capricorn season, and then we will be rolling over into Aquarius. And the card that you have is the Six of Coins reversed. Okay, so here we go. This is what it looks like the right way up. So we have these three figures, one kind of looking kind of more like in a saint position, and these guys are kind of looking like they're asking for something. Up here we have this sort of shadowy figure of something with his arms raised, and it's like a goblet and some scrolls or something in the shadows. Got all the coins up there, and it came out upside down like that. Okay, so let's see what the Six of Coins has for you, Aries. Okay, here we go. Six of Coins. Productive needs. The three figures represent different aspects of giving and taking. Whenever coins are spent to satisfy real needs, both parties involved wins, the one spending the coins as well as the one receiving them. Do not waste your time giving alms or appealing to someone's charity. Much more is needed here. The figure on the right has a halo around his head. Again, Dali can be credited with emphasizing the divine dimension. Whenever giving and taking become one, whenever strengths and weaknesses are reconciled, a divine blessing can be felt. This benediction is represented by the sketchily drawn figure with the raised arms in the background. Inside this hazy apparition, a red chalice or a glass with red wine and a tablet with 8 rolls of dough can be seen. These items symbolize the Christian concept of transmutation. Bread and wine provide physical as well as spiritual nourishment. Whenever you use your talents to satisfy your needs and use your needs to stimulate your talents, there is always something to be gained. Both aspects will benefit by the result, a true win-win situation. In this manner, you can transform plain wants and banal necessities through blessed creative acts. Practical advice. New ways of realizing your own needs and of understanding the needs of others are called for. Learn to distinguish productive from unproductive needs. The value of that which you own is greatest when as many people as possible benefit from it. In this sense, you own only that which you give away. Focus upon realizing a gain for all parties involved. This is much better than managing deprivation. Okay, so this card I love whenever it comes up because it really, it feels like so many times we have the message that it's better to give than to receive, which is generally a recipe for burnout. And also you cannot give without there being a recipient. So this is really, and there's no shame in needing to receive either. It's like, oh, you had to receive because you couldn't do it yourself. Like there's this glorifying of hyper individual behavior instead of realizing that we all exist in community and that we all should have needs and that we then should have the opportunity for our talents and our skills to help step in and fulfill the needs that exist somewhere in this reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. So this card is talking about how it's not only a practical thing, but it's actually a sacred union of the giver and receiver. And so our talents and our needs, just like our strengths and our weaknesses, our strengths are here to fill and aid our weaknesses, because a need is a weakness, not as in you are weak to have one, but the need is that chink in that armor that, oh, I need something. There is a weakness here that I'm not at full strength, and then a strength can come in and bolster that and fill that, and then it's no longer a weakness. So that is this sort of, this union where both of them are super, super necessary. And so that this is, and it becomes that idea of transmutation where that actually, it's not just a 1 + 1 = 2. It's that the giver and receiver coming together creates a very beautiful energy and a sort of sacred experience, that benefits both parties so much more than just the practical math of kind of moving one resource and object to another. So this idea that both aspects will be benefited, and that we're really wanting to find out the needs of others and ourselves so that we can be connected to the talents and the skills of that giver and kind of have that relationship kind of keep going. So this is it brings a lot of neutrality to things where there's no shame in needing things, but there's also no glory in overgiving. and that we're looking for our productive needs and desires to be fulfilled, because a lot of the times we can give into something that really doesn't quite matter, or we can even feel like because there's a need here, we have to fulfill it, when really our talents and our skills are actually wanting to fill into another need. And so we don't have to panic and feel like every need that exists we have to step in to fill. That actually that's not the case, that there's maybe somebody else that can step in and help that if it's not your strength to do so. Certainly don't abandon that person, but that's why this community aspect of being connected to multiple beings with their different talents allows us to kind of make sure that everybody gets their needs met. So that's the concept of the card. This in the astrology of the month. So the first 2/3 of the month is Capricorn season, and Capricorn is all about providership, which is about resources and providing for the good of the community. So, and it's very about the foundation of that. So if we think about Capricorn, the Capricorn Cancer axis is seen like this tree. So we have Capricorn as the roots of the stability and the foundation, and it's also bringing up the nutrients from the earth. So it's bringing up resources from the external world, from the community, from outside itself. And then Cancer is this blossoming, this nurturing, this giving of the fruit and giving to other people. So they work in union, but Capricorn is not about providing resources out of nowhere, trying to churn it, I have to be this breadwinner, as in I have to somehow create wealth from myself. It's actually about being connected to the resources of the earth, the abundance of the community, and bringing those nutrients up and then transmuting that and having those resources possible so that now they can be created into something else. So that's one way to really avoid the stress and the burnout of feeling like, I have to I have to somehow make resources appear out of nowhere, or my talents, I just have to do it myself. It's like, no, it's a conduit, and it's bringing things up that are already present. So that's part of how this Capricorn season is the steady foundation, the roots to bring up the resources so that they now are available for the community and for the self in a long-standing, sustainable way. Capricorn is very much interested in long-term benefit, long-term gain, not just a short, quick fix, not just a quick burnout, and having abundance now and nothing ever again. So it's very much long-term planning. So this kind of time of year is great to be long-term planning for the year ahead, long-term planning for your life and your community in general, not a jump into making things right away, not I have to be productive now, productive as in bearing fruit. It's productive as in building a foundation to bring in resources. So that's this first 2/3 of the month. Then we have Aquarius season at the end of the month. Aquarius is interested in innovation, wanting to do things in a new way. That, okay, that's the old beaten path, but like, how can I do it different? How can I do it new? There's a great sense of fulfillment from going and doing something different that other people don't do. And so this card is even talking about finding new ways of realizing your own needs and of understanding the needs of others. So, it can use that creative mind and say like, yeah, okay, I guess there's the typical way that this could be fulfilled, or there's a very normal way that I could get resources this way, but could I do something different? Could I innovate a little bit? Maybe and that's okay then if other people are like, that's crazy, that's not how it's done. This is a surefire way for things to get done. And you're like, yeah, I know. I want to find a different way. Every standard surefire way of doing things was at one point an innovation. And so you can innovate the next surefire way of doing things. So if you feel that like towards the end of the month, like, I don't want to do it the old way, I want to like find a new way to get things done, a new way. If that desire is still connected to this idea of giving and receiving, connected to understanding the needs of yourself and of others, and just finding another way to get that realized, that is going to be really, really supportive for this particular time. So, and I know that in particular this season can be a little bit like Aries a lot. One of the aspects or archetypes of Aries can be being very impulsive and spontaneous. So idea, action, just kind of going for it. So this idea of the Capricorn, like slow build, foundational work, long haul, might not sound very exciting for you. It certainly is. If it's a discipline you can cultivate, it's really helpful because it allows you, because it's all about bringing resources up to be utilized, it allows you to have so much more energy without burning out. So that kind of action, action, impulse, impulse, doing new things, spark of life. You can really burn out if you don't have the energy. Like if you just keep jumping to new things, but you never sleep. If you keep wanting to have an opportunity, but you never eat or rest, like you eventually then crash, and then you lose the opportunity to be spontaneous. You lose the ability to jump on kind of new ideas because you burnt out. So this is, if you can cultivate that discipline in order to build that foundation, it really does kind of help you later have that spark of life, especially when you do come into your season, Aries season, where it's all about new life, new beginnings, new excitement. That's so much healthier if that new life is coming from the roots. That's where they're getting their energy. That bursting up in that growth season is only possible because the roots have gone down first into the earth to get that energy. So do try to utilize this energy, because it will just make those other seasons that are maybe a little bit more fun for you all that more enriching. So that's what's coming up for you this month. If you're wanting any additional support, we do have some retrogrades going on right now. My Capricorn Pay What You Can season forecast is up and available on the YouTube channel. A little extra support with the astrology transits and another tarot reading. So do check that out. I appreciate all donations. And that's that, Aries. That's January. Take care, and I will see you next month.